there. All right, I'm trying to find a spot that'll work to do this. My stuff's all around me. I have more of the Italian Odyssey to share. It's been another amazing couple of days, and I have some cards as well to share. So a lot going on right now. I don't even know quite where to start. I am clearly in an amazingly gorgeous, beautiful place, in a garden outside of the city of Sorrento in a city called Meta. Here by fortune, chance, luck, and also a little bit of the same misdirection, poor preparation, you might say. And I had a really rough night a couple of nights ago. Came to the realization that I had not done what I needed to do in preparing for this trip, and as a result we ended up in some places that I talked about a little bit in the last video that were not ideal, let's just put it that way. And the second time things became clear that, the situation was what it was, I was feeling very, very hard on myself. I was feeling a tremendous amount of shame. I was feeling really just terrible about taking my children on this trip and subjecting them to, some really just some not great situations, and not what I wanted it to be for them or for myself. That was really, really hard. And so we spent another uncomfortable night in a place that just wasn't really what I expected it to be. And then I rebooked. I booked another place, which is the second time I've done that, and ended up in just an incredible, fortunate happenstance to find just an absolutely gorgeous place that was available for a couple of days, perfectly aligned with what we needed. And it's just, the welcome has been incredible. The place is amazing. The people are really, really sweet. And it's just been like this emotional whiplash on this trip, having to go through, kind of a, oh wow, you really, really screwed up moment, and then recovering from that and bringing it back into just like, okay, and here we are. I'll show you the garden at the end, but I'm going to do that after the video because I've got the camera at a spot right now. It's propped on my shoe on a little stand here, to give us some space to work. And I will share the cards that came up because, it's just amazing, really. Today is the full moon in Capricorn tonight. This is, July 10th? I think this is the 10th. Yeah, so just a lot of big energy of completion, of fruition, a lot of earth, a lot of letting in. Yeah, and the cards that came up today were really quite amazing and really went well with that. So I'm going to start with this deck that I shared the last time, Messages from the Universe. And this card that came up, Flowers in the Desert. And interestingly, this card references garden. So this card talks about flowers in the desert. Where there is now a desert, there will be a garden, creative genius, important projects, big ideas. Unexpected wonders, reflecting on the resilience of flowers blooming in the desert. And I just thought that was really appropriate to kind of the story here of just, another desert and then another gorgeous opportunity to recover and experience beauty. And this place is an incredible garden. So that was really pretty amazing. yeah, and a powerful symbol of how an inhospitable environment can become a place of abundance. And I have definitely experienced the ebbs and flows of that on this trip, and it's quite a lesson, and just a remembering of resilience and allowing things to become better in the midst of things that are not necessarily wonderful. So I loved that. I loved that card as a starting point. And then I also pulled from this other deck, which both of these are in Italian, by the way, so I had to pull the cards ahead of time so I could read the translations, because I don't speak Italian, and so I can't read them and talk to you about them from the book. But that other deck is dreams, actually. I thought it was signs, sogni, but it actually is dreams. So this deck is about dreams and about dream interpretation. And unbelievably, and I am not picking these cards specific to the situation, these are coming up. The card that came up is the garden card. So if that's not fitting for the moment, I don't know what is. So the Orto garden, order, beauty, harmony, health, perfection, harvest, work, colors transforming into scent, shapes become rhythm. I've been writing some poetry, I'll probably share some of that. An invitation to return to the origins and restore the reign of nature. I mean, I just really love that. I feel like that's very, very fitting for this Capricorn new moon. Development manifesting itself through naturally pleasing forms. A place where we recharge in contact with the sacred, which is really one of the things that I was wanting out of this trip, was to be in contact with the sacred, to be in this ancient place of my ancestors, which I don't know if I mentioned on the last video. I did, yes. But that was part of this trip. Part of this trip was to come back to the place of my ancestry and be in contact with that, with the sacredness of the people who came from this land and moved to elsewhere so that I could have the life that I have now. Your dream garden reflects the mood of your mind and the temperature of your heart. So, in your dreams and in this waking dream, right now my dream garden is reflecting the mood of my mind and the temperature of my heart in this space that I absolutely love and adore and hope that someday I'll be able to come back to. I really do want to. I would pitch a tent in this garden and live here forever, to be honest. And just to be here in this dream. By the way, the pumpkins, I had pumpkin flowers at dinner last night, stuffed pumpkin flowers. So I'm also enjoying the synchronicities of all of this. And then the last card, which came up from the This Might Hurt Tarot, which is actually in English. This is one I brought with me. I brought a tarot deck. And I meant to mention this on the last recording, but tarot was invented in Italy. Tarot was a card game that was invented in Italy in the 1800s, somewhere in that. By the way, this palazzo, this palace that we are staying in, literally was someone's home who was, a very wealthy person from about that same era. So really fitting to have a tarot card reading in the garden of this beautiful place. And the card that came out was the Strength card, which also has some beautiful flowers, little allusion to the garden there. I will show you some beautiful pink and purple flowers here in a minute. So the Strength card represents the wild self, smoothed over by the demands of living in a civilized world. And this card is really about you being both the lion and the girl. You are both of these things. And there are parts of yourself maybe that are wild and that you don't always love. And this card is about loving those parts, accepting all of the parts, accepting the fears, the insecurities, the parts that roar. And yeah, I feel like I have met many of those parts in the last few days, as well as the parts that comfort and the parts that are gentle. And so just a really, really fitting, amazing, lovely set of cards for this wild, wonderful day. And here in a little bit, we're gonna do a cooking class with our hosts in the garden. And I can't imagine a more gorgeous, incredible way to end this trip than to do something like that with my sons. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm really loving how all of this came together, even though getting to this point required a little bit of navigating some really rough messages from myself. Yeah, so there's a lot that comes up when you travel, which I know people told me, and I know is true, and it absolutely has been quite a journey, quite a lot to learn. I think I'll be unpacking this for a while. And yeah, so I just welcome you to take from that what is yours to take. And I'll give you a quick little tour around the garden here before I end the video. Just to show you the space. You can see those plants are, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name now. Hydrangea. This is Mediterranean area, so it's a little bit drier, but also obviously there's enough moisture. So there's a cactus over there, not native, but does very well here. And then very much like Tucson, bougainvillea, which is a gorgeous blossoming leaf plant, roses, and my little setup where I've been hanging out today. So thanks for listening. I'm glad to share this little garden space with you. And if anybody wants to know where this is so you can come here yourself, drop me a message and I will tell you, because I'm going to tell everybody I know about this place. If you ever come to Italy, this is where you should come. It's a stunningly gorgeous location. So, love y'all. Bye.